in my head, I'm thinking like, dang, like, I'm trying to make a play. And Coach Saban, he came and broke the news to me talking about they said you stepped out of bounds. So, I mean.
Can you talk me through what you saw on the Jalen throw?
Oh, when he threw it deep, like anytime that Mill throw the ball deep, I know it's a play. Like, he stepped up in the pocket, I said he got one.
Terrion, 4th and 31, you guys talked about length. How many naysayers in that moment do you think there were before that play?
I feel like everybody besides Bama Nation, they thought it was over. Like, before the play, I got up, went like this, and I said, man, I know. Like, I know, like, J. Mill, my brother, like, stepping up in the pocket, and then Kool-Aid sitting right here, we were like, dang, this kind of reminded me of last year. So, I mean, when he stepped up in the pocket, I knew he was going to see it. And IB made a great catch, great play, but he makes plays like that in practice, so I wasn't surprised.
Talking about big. Did you want pick six? Or you just...
I definitely wanted pick six. They had kick six, I wanted pick six. So, I mean, but it's all right.
What does it mean now?
Same thing we've been preaching. Let all naysayers know with an exclamation point emphasized.
How many naysayers are left?
That's a good question. I mean, are you a naysayer?
I'm just here to watch, buddy.
Okay.
After being on the wrong side of some great games last year, LSU, Tennessee, how do you think that helped tonight? And all 4 quarters, literally down to the last minute.
I feel like that went all the way back to the summer. Coach Saban, before we started fall camp, he replayed the play where Tennessee, they scored on the kick, and the play when LSU scored on the last play. So that just going through our mind and being cognizant and just focusing and keying in on what we had to do. And honestly, like, we never lost faith. Like, we prepared for moments like this, and we went out there and executed.
What went through your mind when you saw them muff that punt late?
Oh, I said we got him. We got him.
How monumental is it for you to step your name on this game, just the history that goes into it?
I'm a Florida boy, so I mean, this meant a lot. I'll never forget. I was watching the game with my mom. I was 10 years old, and I just remember the commentator say, "There goes Davis." Now it's there goes Arnold. So I mean, there we go.
What is it about the competitive character of this team that doesn't seem like you guys can doubt?
Truth be told, I mean, you saw like it was a physical match. It was a lot of pushing and shoving, and we live for moments like this. Like, we really came in, embraced the moment, and like they say, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And that's what we did today.
You're going to see you guys one heck of a season, never giving up. How does this team keep representation of never giving up?
I feel like it all goes back into always having hope and believing. And truth be told, before J. Mill threw the ball, I said a prayer. So in my head, I'm thinking like, we went to church before the game, so God give us a blessing. Like it's kind of like games like this, you always know so much wrong is going. And like they had a couple dirty plays where they were hitting our punter, our stuff didn't go our way. The one with Jermaine, when I believe his foot was in bounds, and I feel like everybody saw that. So something had to go right. And just being able to persevere through that and playing for our coach. Like we really love our coach, and Coach Saban loves us.
The senior group 4-0 against Auburn, first time since the mid-'70s. How important was that to you for y'all to kind of finish off that 4-0 record?
I talked to Malachi about that on Friday, and obviously Malachi being a senior, and we have many more seniors, but Malachi is my brother, and I love him, so I went out there and I played for the seniors, and played for him, and just to see him go out there and lay it all on the line, we did the same. So I mean, it really meant a lot.
Did you have a chance to say anything to Jalen? I know you guys are close.
J-Mill?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Not right before halftime, but right after halftime, walked up to him, didn't really have to say too much, whispered in his ear, blank. And then he was like, blank, blank. All right, bet, blank. So, I mean, that's just the type of relationship we have.
Coach Saban says you run that, they run that on practice quite a bit. How often is it actually successful? You're on the other side of it, run that kind of backyard football game.
Oftentimes, like when we do it in practice, you got to think like we don't want to get guys hurt. So I mean, we don't never really kind of like try to make a play on the ball. We let them catch it, and that came into fruition.
Terrion, just on the sideline, witnessing that, just to kind of talk about emotions for you, and then trying to regroup, knowing you guys have to go back out on the field and defend for another 40 seconds.
I talked to Miss Terry Thanksgiving yesterday. So when we had our Thanksgiving brunch, she just reminded me this game is a rivalry game. Records are out of the way, and you have to take one play at a time. So I was just preaching to the guys, and Miss Terry being like the secret weapon that we have, just remembering them, man, stay focused and stay poised, and that's what we did.
Before you go that relationship with him, with Miss Terry too, how is that really important to you?
I say it every time. I love Miss Terry. Just every time I get a chance to see her, or before the game I walked up to her, and like the key points that she gives me, like I spoke last time, I thought Coach Saban was giving me those points, but just to be able to sit right there and her being around, like she said, for 52 years, being around this and knowing how to execute and what Coach Saban was saying, the philosophy, I mean, it really means a lot to have somebody like that, and I say she's a blessing.
Thank you, Terry.
For all this
Thanks, Terrion.